What is up? Back. And today we got cardio, not legs. I switched my split up from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because I canceled my Crunch membership, and I would go there on the weekends. But now that school's wrapping up, I'm trying to just stick to the school gym, and then in the summer I'm gonna go to Coastal because they got a little deal going on. Soon enough, y'all will see me in a new gym. But for now, going to my neighborhood gym, and we're hitting cardio. I think we're gonna do some cardio talks today. Hopefully, the treadmill's open. If I gotta do the bike again, I don't know. I hate the bike. But I will see y'all in the gym.
All right, so for this cardio talk, I wanted to talk about refeed days and carb cycling. So I know you've probably seen all those videos, like people eating crumble, like 10 cookies in a sitting and ice cream, and they're like, oh, when you're on the cut, so this is fine, it's all just a refeed day. I'm sure y'all have seen those jokes, but what actually are refeed days? So refeed days are days where you eat 2 to 3, well, some people say 3 to 5 times the amount of carbs you typically eat on a deficit. This, of course, would result in a surplus for the day, and you keep your fat and protein the same. So you basically just up your carbs by a ridiculous amount, keep fat and fat and protein the same, and you end up in a surplus. So why is this being done? Why is this even a topic people are talking about? Because when you have been in a deficit for a while, your hormones are starting to regulate to the new you. So few hormones go down, and this includes leptin and a few other fat loss regulating hormones, fat regulating hormones. So why are refeeds necessary? Well, because they replenish these hormones that are lost over time during an intense deficit. So, yes, replenishing your hormones by using a refeed day is a very valid way to do that. It gives your body kind of a reset, and also on a deficit, if you aren't, you know, going to the bathroom as much, a refeed could potentially help boost a few things and allow you to go to the bathroom, drop a few pounds of waste, basically. So now, this should only be done if you've been on a deficit for quite a bit, and it's quite an intense deficit, and you're noticing that you are plateauing heavily and you feel like your hormones are just imbalanced. Now, refeeds have been heavily exaggerated, and by no means should you just go crazy and just get 10 crumble cookies like all those videos show. Up your carbs, maybe have a little cheat meal, maybe some sushi or, maybe some fries or something. But again, you're just supposed to up your carbs. So still be careful what you're eating on a refeed because it's not supposed to just be an excuse to eat like a pig. So another thing refeeds are good for is, of course, to replenish your glycogen. When you are heavy training on a deficit, your glycogen stores are practically squeezed dry all the time. I mean, if you're constantly in the gym and you're on a decently significant deficit, 500 to 1,000, then your glycogen is going to be pretty empty all the time. You're going to need constant replenishing. What a refeed does is when you up your carbs that much, it will fully replenish all your glycogen stores and all your muscles. So by the next day, you have full glycogen stores, and the excess glucose that didn't go to your muscles will just go to your fat storage and later be uptaken into glycogen in your muscles. So refeeds are a very, very valuable tool. They should not be overdone, and they should not be an excuse to eat like a pig. They should only be done maybe every 2 to 3 weeks after you've already been in a cut for a significant amount of time or a heavily intense cut. Of course, if you are having no issue in the gym, you're having no energy issue, no output issue, refeeds shouldn't even be on your radar. You should just stick to your diet, lock in, and just get it done. Now, talking about carb cycling. Carb cycling is a similar thing to refeeds. It's just more often and to a lesser degree. So carb cycling is where you have higher carbs on one day, lower than the next, so on. And they can be done however often as someone feels like they need to be done. I would recommend, if you're to do carb cycling, to make it an every other day thing to a lesser degree, so you're not just loading up on carbs. You're basically, so instead of it just being a multiple refeed a week kind of thing, to where it's just a severe carb load, you should just do it every other day to a lesser degree, and you should prioritize it before heavy lifting days so your glycogen stores are replenished and you just feel way more energetic. Now, this is another thing that you should not be doing if your energy output is completely fine. It should only be something you should be doing if you notice on, let's say, leg day, that you are just really struggling to get that extra boost. Maybe carb cycle the day before, carb load up the day before, or maybe even 2 days before, so you're ready for that leg day. I personally don't think carb cycling should be implemented into mini cuts or diets. I think it is a little excessive. Now, refeeds, I definitely do believe in. I believe they are a great tool to help you get your energy output back up. And personally, I have noticed that after a refeed day, I end up losing weight better the rest of the week compared to when I was plateauing before the refeed. They allow you to regulate your hormones again and get those fat regulating hormones back, essentially. So if you haven't thought about refeeds, or if you were on the fence about them, I'm here to tell you I believe they are a very valuable tool, but plan it out before you do it. Don't just go binge and eat a bunch of food. You should be tracking everything you're eating still, and make sure all you're increasing is your carbs by a significant amount. Other than that, you should be good. So that's about all I got for cardio talks today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And as always, stay blessed. All right. Whew. Done with the cardio. It was a rough one, but of course the treadmill was taken. It was popping in there today. There was 2 other people in there. Usually only one taking the treadmill. And it's the same person every time. Every time I see the car when I pull up in the parking lot, I'm like, oh, today's bike. But regardless of the situation, it's a good cardio session. About to go home, relax, and I got class. So if you're not already following the Instagram or TikTok, check those out. Also go check out Christian Lifting Apparel. It's my own brand, my own designs. And as always, if y'all are shopping on Aspire, Whole Strength, or POWERWING, check out the description. Get yourself a little discount code, and it helps me out a bit, gives me a little bit of commission. So go check those out. Links for everything will be in the description. So that's about all I got today. So I'll see y'all in the next one, and as always, stay blessed.